go.
Say good morning. My name is Floyd D. Harris Jr. I'm a mayor candidate for Fresno, California mayor. We will be voting on March 3rd of next week. Today, no more business as usual here in the city of Fresno. Elected officials need to be accountable, allowing the abuse of the Fresno Taskforce that continues to hurt our most vulnerable people here in Fresno. 2009, I believe it was up by Blackstone and Bullard. You can see the picture here to my left. We had a police officer. Matter of fact, there was two police officers here on this picture here that was closed fists beating a homeless man on the ground. That was back in 2009. Just of last week, we had another incident here in Fresno where we had the task force again who beat a young man, a brother. This picture to my left here, if you can see it, hold it up, that was being hit by the Fresno Police Department. One of the issues is in Fresno when it comes to the leadership is that we have to understand we have to treat people with dignity and respect. Just because someone do not have a car, just because someone may be pushing a shopping cart, just because someone may not be living like you, living large, living on the bluffs, do not mean that we have to treat them like they some kind of second-class citizen. We brought the Poor People's Campaign here to Fresno over a year ago. People came from all over the state of California here with the same problem, saying that we want equality for all people, not some people, but all people. But here in Fresno, we invest a lot of money in the SPCA. In Fresno, we invest a lot of money at the dog shelter to make sure that they have running water, to make sure that they have a shelter where they have a heater, an air conditioner. But when it comes to here in Fresno, we treat our people here less than human. You're almost better to be inside of the SPCA than to be out here. We criminalize our homeless people here in Fresno, and we saying enough is enough. We sit here today with a Mayor Lee Brand sitting in the office, getting ready to term out, hadn't said a mumbling word about the assault of what his police department has done. That's why we stand here today letting the world know that there are people here in Fresno that will not sit around and stand around and act like business as usual. We're saying this business is not going to be business as usual because we are here for the people. We are here because we want people to understand that you should have running water, that you should have a home. Dyer says that he's going to build this multi-concentration camp here in District 3. No, you're not going to build a concentration camp here in District 3. We have homeless people all over this city. We need to build low-barrier homes all over the city, shelters everywhere here in Fresno. And it's time out that people need to stand up and be counted. It's time for people to stop laying back, being lazy, and say enough is enough. All right, now here in the city of Fresno, there has been monies allocated to build shelters here in Fresno. Where is it? Why has it not been built here in Fresno, California? So I'm asking right now that this task force, since it cannot treat people with dignity and respect, and that it has to criminalize people, let's just disband this task force because it's really costing the taxpayers here a bunch of money and probably a bunch of more lawsuits. It was former Alan Autry, who started the tearing down of the encampments here in Fresno. Once he termed out 8 years, then Swearington came in. She kept up with Alan Autry's vision was to tear down the homeless encampment. To my right here, I have Mr. Al Williams to my right here, who was the first plaintiff to sue the city of Fresno for $2.3 million. We stood on the steps. We stood on the steps here as the only pastor in this community who stood with the homeless community and filed the lawsuit. When you're in office, you have a moral responsibility to do what's right and look after the health of our community. That's not happening in Fresno. It didn't happen with Allen Autry. Definitely didn't happen with Swearington, because she dismantled the entire homeless situation right in the middle of winter time. And then we had people walking around the city of Fresno like a bunch of zombies. So time out right now that this community is stepping up and saying that we want our constitutional and human rights to be, to understand that we are human beings in this community here. We're tired of spending tax money. We're tired of violations. When people run for office, that's why I'm running for mayor, is for people to understand that my first loyalty is to make sure people is safe. We should have legalized encampments here in Fresno. Then you say, well, they're on someone's property that they're not supposed to be on. Well, the city of Fresno owns property all over the city. So we have different recourses that we can use right now, and that the county board of supervisors needs to get off their rump and get involved and understand that they have the mental health component to put more funding into there. You have the old UMC building out on Kings Canyon and Cedar. It's just sitting there collecting dust. It could be used to get people off the streets. And so today, we're just letting the world know that we are the Harris campaign, that we are coming, and we're letting the people know that we're just not going to sit idle anymore and allow the most vulnerable people in our community to be abused and used in jail. Just like you put money to build on a new jail, you could be spending money for mental health in this community. And so it's going to take a new way, new ideas, and our young people who are brilliant people in our community, we want you at the table, because you are the ones that is the next generation of young people here in our community. I want to allow Brother Al to speak, a man that I honor, a man that I have most respect for, a man that I stood on the steps with him for the first lawsuit, $2.3 million lawsuit against the city of Fresno. And if you ever run for office, understand one thing: when you take an oath, you take an oath to take care of the people.
Yeah, I just want to say I come a long way from 2007, 2008 when we filed the lawsuit against the city of Fresno, and that was a blessing for a lot of us. But we're back in the same situation again, probably worse. Actually, we are worse. The people are worse. Fortunately, I'm not on the streets no more, but I'm still out here fighting for the people who will be fighting for them, like everybody in Fresno should be, but they're not. And the Fresno area, Fresno Homeless Taskforce, that thing gotta go. You know, it gotta go like yesterday. Not tomorrow, not next month. Get rid of it now. I had several run-ins when I was homeless. They take everything you own. They thieves. Straight up thieves. Strong arm robbery is what they would call it if I did the same thing. They take your stuff. The only thing you can walk away with is the clothes on your back. As for myself, last time they took my property, they took me from Pinedale, Herndon and Ingram, brought me to this county jail, gave me a citation, and turned me loose. They said, you can go now. They did that in order to take my personal property. They said I abandoned it. Actually, they kidnapped me. Put me in the back of a cruiser with no back seat. No back seat at all. Just solid metal. They took the bumps before they could find. That way they can legally beat you up. That's okay though. They're coming. Their day will come. But that task force needs to go like now, yesterday. It should be going already. Officer Hogan, he's kind of like the boss there and runs that task force. He needs to go faster than yesterday. I mean, it's sad the way they treat people. They treat you that way, you wouldn't like it. Better you would like it. Gotta be some change in the road now, man to do it. You wouldn't do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's face it, there is the morality and the ethical values of the politics going on here in Fresno, as well as the rest of the nation, has become horrid. The occupant in the White House is the standard for moral and ethics in this country, and that's got to change. I don't care who you are. That's got to change. And the reason it has to change is because we're not that immoral, not that ethical. We care. We give a damn about the people out here. At the very least, we should at least care a damn about the people in the city of Fresno. We need to expand that, but right now, we have an opportunity like never before to put a man who has moral character and ethical values in the mayorship.
You're not Jerry Dyer.
And we have an opportunity, but it's up to the voters. And it should be up to the voters, not to the media, not to the wealthy, but to you, the voters out there. And the next generation of voters, they need to wake up and realize we can make this a better world. But first we need to make this a better Fresno. And to do that, it's in our hands to make the vote for Reverend Floyd here. We have to. Reverend Floyd Harris is a good man. He has shown that for many years. He cares about Fresno. He has the support of the Fresno County Green Party. And I want to tell you something. I've known him for a few years. We need people like him running our cities. We need people who give a damn about the city of Fresno. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.